Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another very useful mod that you may already be very familiar with, because it is the Nanobot drill and fill system, which has been on the workshop for quite some time. But this is a brand new version, same functionality, but with a new coat of paint to make it more updated and more in line with the current state of Space Engineers. So this right behind me is the Prometheus Nanobot drill and fill system, which comes in both a large and small block version. Like I said, it has all the same systems where we can set a dedicated area, have it wirelessly drill everything up, put it into its small container, then drag it off to any cargo containers that are attached onto it, which is like what I've done in the background. You can then set it to fill up an area, but what I'll mention right now is it's a little bit bugged, so we're going to have to do this in two sections, where I will need to add in the original mod in order to unlock some settings which are not currently present on this item. But yes, you can set a dedicated area where you have a lovely big box, where I'll show you in just a moment, where you can set what you want to have in that area. Say you want to have some stone, maybe you want some sand, maybe you want some grassland, then you put in the associated block, which in this case will be stone, then you have it slowly fill all the way up until you have a lovely cube, or whatever shape you set, of whatever resource you want to fill it up with. And of course, for the drilling side, you just move the box around to where you want to have it, you put it deep below the ground, then set it what you want it to actually collect and what you want it to ignore, then just go and slowly drill it all up over time and dump off into your cargo containers. We also have some very handy lighting schemes along the top there, so as you can see it's in yellow. It shouldn't be in yellow, it should actually be in green because it is all working correctly. Not too sure why the colours aren't working. Yes, we can use that as a gauge if anything's wrong, whether it's completely full up and can't actually drill anything up until you empty it out, and other stuff like that. So for a quick demonstration, what I'm going to do is grab hold my character, come all the way up to this, and position him like so. I'm now going to grab the free camera, move it all the way away. There we go, that'll do quite nicely. And now I'm going to click onto that, come to the control panel, find the drill system, move all the way down to where it states to show area. And there we are, we now have a bloody big box. And this is going to be our drilling area. And this is where it's going to collect up all the ice from, as well as all the way down to there. So you can see I've had this mod running for a little bit of time now. So getting a bit closer into here, this is what it's basically started with. It creates a rather lovely cube inside. So you could, if you wanted to, use this as a small little hidey hole base. Put my lights on, there we go, so we can see the ice, we see the stone, and everything is collecting. It would come all the way up to here, we can see it slowly, very slowly removing all that stone. And of course, all the way up there, there's a separate patch of what I started with. Yes, we can move this box around, we can change its shape, and of course tell it to collect certain stuff. If you want to, just grab and hold my character once again, because he did move away, put him like so. Actually moving the camera away so we can actually see the top of this thing. Come back into here, back into the control panel, moving all the way down. We then have this section right here, which is our offset, and of course our width, height, and depth. So of course if we want to, we can move this around. There we go. And of course we can move this forwards and backwards. And then of course, up and down. We then change the shape of it so we can make it a very, very thin rectangle. We can make it a bit smaller like so. And then of course we can change the height to have it a very small area. So we can pinpoint target a certain area if we are just doing some general collection. If we don't want to, say, disable stuff, which is in the box right above here. So this is our priority system of what it's going to collect. As you can see here, the priority is ice, because I am on a massive ice field where the only other resources in my area is stone. But if I don't want to collect the ice, if I just want to collect the stone, I can hit disable on there, and that's simply going to ignore the ice and concentrate on the stone. There we are, just updated on the bottom right. What we see now is going to start drilling up all the stone. Of course, if I was to make this stop drilling stone by disabling that, there we are. It'll now just completely disable itself and turn into a collection thing where we'll just look for hovering resources such as uranium, stone, or any kind of ore pieces just laying around there, and it'll try and pick up all of them. If not, it'll disable itself and go into a standby mode until it's ready to work again. But for the moment, I'm just going to enable them both once again. There we go. I'm going to put this back to how it was. There we are. Oh god, that was a bit wrong. Wrong one there. There we are. That'll do quite nicely. And I think I'll just move it down a little bit. There we are. So with that all disabled, I can now grab hold my character once again, and we get a better look at both of these models. So I suppose we'll need the free camera back over to here, so not too sure why I grab hold my character. So all the way down like so, we'll have a brief look at the model, go through the cost, then I'll go switch over to the original drill and fill system, and show you the other controls. So all the way up to the base, this is what we get. It's basically a standard cargo container, so it does fit very well with the rest of the game. As you can see, I do have a curved conveyor just linked up to one of the sides. Moving up slightly onto this side, we then got these lovely little metal pipes come all the way up to the top. Then we've got this yellow tube in the middle, which is what's going to be changing colour. We also have these yellow M&Ms on the side, which will also change colour depending on what's going on. So you've got plenty of ways to see what's actually wrong with the drill and fill system. Then of course above that we've got some static blue and black raised sections, which do not change colour. They're just there for some decoration. We'll come all the way up to this, tilt it all the way around. And then got a warning sign right there telling you not to put your hands in this area. Then round to the opposite side, another exclamation mark. Looking all the way up like so. Over into this part, and there we are. Getting a bit close onto the side, we can see a warning sign. Very hard to make out here. It's getting a bit closer. It says, do not open, authorized personnel only. So there we are. Put the move all the way up to the side. There we go, and look down at this thing. They've got a lovely little heat vent at the top there, which I like to imagine is where the yellow orb, the actual nanobot that's collecting up all the resources, is flying out of. Of course, it doesn't actually do that. It comes out of the main body. And we can see it's now starting to tear away the ice on the surface right next to that pipe. Anyway, down and below it, here we go. Basically going to be saying what we just saw around the bottom of this thing. We've got another connection point, so we can just plop this straight down onto a vehicle if you wanted to and not have it built into it. So say remove an auction farm and slap this in its place. And over there, there's a small version, which I do like. I do greatly prefer this design to the large block one due to the way it's all been set up. Now this is purely because of the way it's done down here. So what we've got, basically 3 small cargo containers, which have got a bunch of pipework and other raised blocks just slapped onto the top of them. It looks really, really good, especially if you want to say a weapon. Yes, all the way up the side there. There we go. And all the way up the top, like the large one, where they've got a big tube in the middle, but this one is turned off, so we can see it's all red. And unlike having the M&Ms on the side that also change colour, this time we've got these black pipes with some silver bits in the middle. Then in the middle of that, we've got our little lights that will also change colour depending on what's going on with this drill. I suppose what I can do for the moment is just grab hold of my character once again and attach on some power onto this so we can actually see what's going on with it. Go like that. It's a bit fiddly to get attached onto there. There we go, onto the side. That should now turn on. Hopefully, I might need to manually turn it on. Yes, I will. So into this, turning it on. There we go. And now it's all bright green. And it's now perfectly behaving itself. Although it is a bit wibbly wobbly. And there we are. It was green saying it was all good and ready to go. But now it should be yellow because it might be all full up. It's not going to be able to eject out any of the stone it's collecting or any of the ice it's collecting. And well, it'll very quickly just disable itself. But yes, that was a good example of showing the little parts on the side there, just changing colours. That's all there is to this one. I suppose it can come up the side there, so we've got a little electrical hazard sign. All the way up the side there, another danger sign. We're getting all the way up to this, it says strong magnetic fields. Notify the something or other technology or radiologist. And I can't really make out the rest of that, apart from a few other words due to how blurry it is. Up the side there, going all the way down. We don't really have the heat vent on the top. We do have this lovely little circular ring of yellow. It does look very nice there. And it goes down underneath it. There we go. So yes, with that, all we've got to do now is go through the costs. Then we're going to flip over to the other version of the drill and fill system. And we're going to have a look at the other controls. So with my character, once again, typing in the drill, and now show up like so. And this is what we get. So we've got our large and small block versions. You can go on the ship, you can go on the station. So for the large block version, we see we've got 40 motors, 20 computers, 10 large steel tubes, 60 small steel tubes, 25 interior plates, 140 construction components, and 52 steel plates. That's a very odd to have a 2 at the end there. You'll thought it being rounded off like everything else. But then for the small ones, we've got 12 motors, 10 computers, 2 large steel tubes, 20 small steel tubes, 8 interior plates, 50 construction components, and then 19 steel plates. Once again with a very odd number for the steel plates at the end. And there we go with that. So what I'm going to do now is go back to the main menu, load in the other version of the mod. I'm going to come back here, I'll just cut that all out. Then we go through the rest of the controls. They'll turn up magically on this design. And here we are once again. I've added in the original nanobot drill and fill system, and as you can see, it has bugged out the brand new model just a little bit by making it display red, which is usually when it's been turned off or something is horribly wrong with it. But as you can see, it does have the yellow orb still collecting stuff up. It's still fully functioning, so we're just going to ignore all the color patterns and just come straight inside it. So into here, into the control panel, we now got a few more options. So unlike before, where we just had to select what we want to drill, we now have a work mode, where we can now come to a drop down and make it collect up any kind of stuff floating on the surfaces. So selecting collect, what's going to happen is when I go and drop down some ice on the floor, so let's go down to here and find some, in fact we'll go for some nickel ore like that. We're going to put 1,555 down, dropping that down, and now it's just going to start to collect all up. Hopefully, maybe, I'm not too sure, but it should be doing that. Maybe after a while it might scan it, and there we go, it's now collected up. A little bit delay there. I was a little worried it wasn't going to do that. Yes, now it's fully functioning and collecting everything up, but now it's collected everything up, it's going to go back to its original task of drilling up all the eyes. So come back into here once again, now come back down to that drop down, where we've got Bill. Well, what Bill's going to do is what I stated at the start of the video, where in that giant display box where we go and show the area, come back down to here and actually having the show area, there we go. All in this box, it'll now start to fill up the area with our associated resources. So back in the control panel, back into here, scrolling all the way down, now got our fill material set on snow and ice. So what this means is snow is what's going to be placed in the area, that's the terrain we're going to be placing in this big box, and ice is the material we need to have inside the drill and fill system to be able to place it all down. Of course, if we want to change that, we've got the other associated blocks, we've got all different types of stone, we've got soil, we've got moon, and all the other stuff that requires stone, all the way down to the bottom, and then got uranium, so we can make your own personal patches of uranium if you want to. That's one way to store your uranium if you want to have it outside your cargo containers. Not too sure why you would want to do that, but that is an option. Yes, we can do that if you want to fill up an area, maybe make a pretty little area for you to place your base in. We'll come all the way down to the bottom, now got our show areas and all that we've already gone through, and all the way down to the bottom, and you've got a very odd remote control system. This is where the actual drill area is going to be located. So what it is right now is set on none, so this drill area, no matter where I go, it's always going to be in this area. So this black box will be completely stationary surrounding this drill system. Come back into this, coming all the way down and selecting myself. There we go. Now, as soon as I move, the box is going to move with me, and ultimately the drilling system will have to drill in this area where I'm currently standing. Let's come over to here. It's now going to start drilling up all the ice, all the stone in this area, and so on and so forth. So there's a very specific patch that you can't actually work out yourself, you can't actually move the box manually using the sliders, you can always just dump your body down there, have it drill around yourself. Anyway, come back into here and turning that off, so right down to the bottom, selecting none, there we go. We've then got sound volume to make it really loud or make it really quiet. That's one of my biggest complaints when I used it all those years ago, was that it's a bloody loud block, so having it set down to 25% is very, very good. And of course the other settings here we can largely ignore, so if you want to have it drawn by script, you can always tick this box. I'm not going to go through that. And as for that, that's pretty much it for all the other controls. There is stuff that's saying collecting up all the stuff floating on the surfaces, so we can make it collect up ingots or stone gravel. So I suppose if you want to, you can go to a pirate base, blow up their reactors, and then any kind of uranium that falls onto the ground, any kind of refined uranium, you now have this go and collect up, scoop it up, without you needing to get out your ship, and collect it up manually. Yes, as I was saying, that's pretty much it for all this thing has to offer. So I suppose the only other thing that I can showcase with this is strapping it onto a small ship, driving over to an area, and having it collect stuff up as a small example. And here we go. So what I've done is strapped on the small drill and fill system onto the good old deck spider, put on a couple of ore detectors, and here we are with some silver right below me on this grassy plain. So traditionally what we'd be doing is having a drill, maybe on a piston system, maybe having the drills all set up to cover the entire ship, then go straight down to that silver, collect it all up. But with this system, I can see we come into here, go into the control panel, and then come into the drill and fill system, which is right over here. So what I want to do is make sure it's not going to actually collect anything up. So I'm going to select up all of these, disable all of them, because I don't want to collect up the stone, but I do want to collect up the silver. So what I'm going to do now is come over to here and show the box, wherever it's gone, there it is. And now I'm just going to, using this camera, adjust it slightly to be able to get it into the area that I want. Now this is going to be a little bit difficult because it is moving quite a lot. Might have to use the arrow keys. There we go, going to move it back slightly. Too far. It's bloody difficult. You don't know how hard this thing is to control. And there we go, we now turned it on. Hopefully it is collecting everything up. Can't really see too much going on with it, but there we go, there is the yellow line. Now shooting up from that silver patch right below me with the free camera all the way down to here, because I did have to use it to line up the box to make sure it was on the correct area. There's the marker for the silver, and there it is collecting it all up, all the way from that without having to drill all the way down through the surface. And there we are. And with that, that's pretty much it for the Prometheus Nanobot drill and fill system. It's just a lovely mod to use in your world if you do want to use the traditional drills and well go straight through the surface, get to your resources, build a massive piston system. You simply slam this onto any old building, any old ship, and just move the box to where you need to go, and then dictate what it can and cannot collect. It just makes it very efficient and very useful, especially if you don't know where exactly the resource is. You can put this onto a large block ship, put the box in a general area, and have it collect everything up, just saving you a bit of time. Yes, it is a little bit cheating at the end of the day due to the fact you can't just leave it in a general area and have it all collect up. Then again, it is a bit of fun. And if you want to draw a massive area in vanilla Space Engineers, you could always make a massive drilling platform, and do nothing but drills for miles on end. But yes, it looks fantastic thanks to its updated model. Its functionality appears to be unchanged, although a little bit bugged as they show in this video. There'll be a link to its description below to just download and play around yourself. I highly recommend you do, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.